Hey everybody, Nick Espinoza, your chief security fanatic here, and today we are talking about WhatsApp because WhatsApp isn't as private as you think. Here's what's going on thanks to some recent changes, and this is coming from Wired, though there are many publications reporting on this. Now, at the beginning of the year, WhatsApp took the seemingly mundane step of updating its terms of use and privacy policy, mostly focused on the app's business offerings. The changes sparked major backlash, though, because they inadvertently highlighted WhatsApp's years-old policy of sharing certain user data, like phone numbers, with its parent company, Facebook. That's right, Facebook owns WhatsApp, if you didn't know. So obviously the worst data miner in the world now is touting a privacy app, which they bought years ago, and the founders of WhatsApp aren't even fans of that now. Now, rather than change this policy that sparked the controversy, WhatsApp instead moved the deadline for users to accept it from the original date of February 8th to basically this upcoming Saturday. And if you don't, WhatsApp will start to become unusable. Basically, they're letting the backlash die down from February. Says, we'll wait a few months, everybody will forget about it, and then they'll have to accept it. Now, it's going to become unusable, but not all at once, as I just said. If you haven't accepted the new policy by now, you'll start to see basically more pop-ups in WhatsApp outlining the changes with a big green accept button at the bottom. If you tap it, WhatsApp will continue to share certain account data of yours with Facebook. If you'd rather not agree, you'll at first be able to hit the back arrow in the upper left corner of the overlay. Over time, though, the pop-ups will appear more frequently. Eventually, you won't be able to click away at all, and the app's functionality will start to degrade. Now, WhatsApp originally indicated in February that anyone who declined the update would immediately lose functionality, but the company obviously has since opted to let the wheels basically come off the car gradually, if you will, as Wired put it, over several weeks before the app basically hits a ditch and stops working. Now, quote, "For the last several weeks, we've displayed a notification in WhatsApp providing more information about the update. After giving everyone time to review, we're continuing to remind those who haven't had the chance to do so to review and accept. After a period of several weeks, the reminder people receive will eventually become persistent." Now, once you reach the point that WhatsApp has basically stopped its policies and all of this, you'll still be able to, or rather, you've reached the point that WhatsApp basically has plastered its policy notifications atop of its interface. You'll still be able to use the app for some time, as I mentioned. You'll be able to basically field incoming calls, for example, and if you have notifications turned on, you can read and respond to messages that way, but you won't be able to see your chat list or initiate contact of any kind of WhatsApp friends because, again, a privacy policy update will be blocking your path. After a few weeks of that stunted experience, WhatsApp will basically fully pull the plug on you, and you won't even be able to get calls or messages. The reality is that for most users, accepting the privacy policy won't impact their interactions with WhatsApp very much. As we mentioned, all communications on WhatsApp will still be end-to-end encrypted by default, but I have done videos on that showing that they have been reading that for artificial intelligence purposes. And so what WhatsApp won't be able to access is any of your communications or share them with Facebook, which I just said. I think Wired is wrong in here. I actually did a video on that a couple of years ago. I want to say it was in 2019 that they were caught doing that. WhatsApp will be able to share user, and this is still true, WhatsApp will still be able to use, basically share user account information like your phone number, logs of how long and how often you use WhatsApp, device identifiers, IP addresses, and other details about your device, and they will share that with Facebook, one of the largest data miners on the planet. Plus, WhatsApp can share transaction and payment data, cookies, and location information with Facebook if you grant it permission. Basically, if you don't realize you're opted in, they're getting that too. All of this has been true since 2016, and as I mentioned, I did a video. I'm almost positive it was in August of 2019, and I remember that for specific reasons, that essentially the artificial intelligence engine that Facebook was training for WhatsApp was reading these messages from WhatsApp in order to improve its algorithm. Now, the strength of the backlash likely caught WhatsApp off guard, Essentially, that's why they extended this out. And so basically, the reason why they're thinking this is because days after WhatsApp first announced these changes, which was on January 4th, Telegram said that it had gained tens of millions of users. Signal boasted unprecedented growth. And so in an attempt to basically stop the bleeding, WhatsApp delayed the rollout of these policies so that users would have more time to learn about these changes. But when you look at or compare WhatsApp, which is supposedly secure, versus Signal, which actually is, and their privacy policy basically says they collect nothing on you, no data mining. There's nothing that Signal collects. It's actually run by a nonprofit foundation, if you didn't know. This is a huge, huge thing. WhatsApp is not as secure as you think it is, and it's one of the most popular quote-unquote secure messaging platforms. But think about what they're getting from you. Aside from the artificial intelligence scraping that they have been doing to improve their algorithms, they are basically looking at, and I will say this again, they are sharing user account information like your phone number, logs of how long and how often you use WhatsApp, device identifiers, IP addresses, other details about your device. That's all going to Facebook, and odds are a lot of you have opted in to share transaction, payment data, cookies, location information as well. That is a huge, huge thing, and it's been that way since 2016. They bought WhatsApp before that, when the founders actually believed in privacy, and the WhatsApp founder, I believe, is no longer with the company. I believe he's the one that quit in disgust over this. So this is a huge problem that we have. If you are using WhatsApp because you believe it is secure, it means that it's outside of prying eyes. Understand, this is a Facebook-owned device. Their privacy policy compared to other actual privacy-based apps like Signal is just ridiculous in comparison and weak. So if you're on WhatsApp, heads up to you. You are not actually running a secure platform. It's not nearly as secure as you think it is. Go get yourself Signal or Telegram, and that is your news of the day. And please like, share, follow me here on Facebook and Twitter at NickAESP, and please feel free to subscribe to me at YouTube as well. And as always, stay safe and stay online. Thanks, everyone.